This new manga character design for Yuji Itadori is outstanding. Yesterday, with the release of chapter 240, we got a fresh look at Yuji. And if you haven't seen my video on this chapter, check it out. I've pinned the link in the comments. Before we dive in, please leave a like and subscribe, as 98.5% of you haven't subscribed yet. Do you remember back in JJK Season 1 Episode 12, Gojo said that Sukuna's ability will be carved into Yuji's body. But after that there were no signs of Yuji getting any cursed techniques, and we are already at the point where he is fighting Sukuna. It could be thought that Gege intentionally did not show signs of Yuji getting a power-up or a cursed technique to save it for the final battle. Cause, as you can see, the left arm of Yuji is looking a lot different. It looks like arm with transparent inner muscles and a bone-type fin on it, and doesn't even looks like Sukuna's hand either. I wonder if this is something new he created himself by going beyond his potential. So what we know about Yuji's abilities and powers from very beginning till now. Itadori does not have an ability at the beginning of the story, and his strength comes from his physical abilities. By adding cursed energy to his physical abilities, he can fight cursed spirits and sorcerers. He has two powers in close combat. First, Divergent Fist, which is the cursed energy slamming into the opponent after the punch because his punch is so fast, which creates a two-stage attack. Second, Black Fash. He also has an ability which was very useful against Mahito, that is to perceive the soul. Due to him being the vessel of Ryumen Sukuna, he unknowingly understands the function of the soul, which allows him to damage people like Mahito, who has an ability which basically negates basic physical attacks by attacking the soul directly. The two techniques abilities that directly attack the soul that have appeared in the manga are Yuji's ability to perceive the soul, and Nobra's straw doll technique. But after Mahito was defeated, we don't see abilities that attack the soul come into play again. So what abilities could Itadori obtain to fight Sukuna? Well, there are two abilities that Yuji needs to fight Sukuna. 1. A cursed energy, which must has the ability to work against the soul, like Kashimo's electricity. 2. By combining that with a slashing cursed technique, will work rough against Sukuna. This would be a technique that will be able to slash the soul. Now the thing is, that will Yuji able to do it? Here's an explanation. Itadori has an ability to perceive the soul and directly attack it. There is only one character in the series who has a special property in cursed energy, and it was Kashimo. His cursed energy has the properties of electricity, but Yuji doesn't fit this category. He most likely fits the category of the nature of cursed energy, although this isn't directly stated in the manga. Other sorcerers like Choso and Hikari have special natures of cursed energies. Choso has the nature of being able to change his cursed energy into blood, and Hikari has the nature of rough cursed energy, which might lead to having a more difficult time healing the wound caused by it. It may even be possible that other characters like Jago and Ugi may have the nature of fire too. So Yuji's ability to perceive the soul may be the nature of cursed energy he was born with. So you might wonder, how does Yuji perceive the soul? There is a major hint in the story no one expected, and that is Yuko Ozawa. In his middle school days, when he was asked that who he likes the most in his class, he said Yuko because of her handwriting and how she eats, which was an unexpected answer from Itadori because of her physical appearance at the time. And in the current time, when Yuji sees Ozawa's drastic change in physical appearance at the restaurant, he notices instantly that the girl with Megumi and Nobara is Ozawa. This is because Itadori doesn't recognize people by their physical appearance. Instead, he recognizes them by their souls. This is a major piece of evidence which can prove that Yuji's cursed energy nature lies in the perception of the soul. Now returning back to Yuji's arm, the appearance of his arm is very different, and it's something we haven't seen so far. But the abilities aren't directly explained, but it could be the ability to slash the soul, which can also helps to annihilates the subject. We can see that this ability will directly work against the soul. Using this, we can conclude that Yuji's ability is something that directly attacks the soul. But this contradicts the training that Yuji was doing with Kusakabe that swaps the souls in chapter 222. But what if this isn't Yuji's ability but an ability of the new shadow style? In chapter 82, Mekamaru explained that the new shadow style was created to protect the weak against the strong. In the Heian era, there were many strong sorcerers like Sukuna, Arome, Kenjaku, and Yorozu. They each can turn into cursed objects and can steal physical bodies from others, which makes physical attacks against them not very effective. But when Mekamaru used his simple domain against Mahito, he was able to attack the soul directly. What if new shadow style is a technique that attacks the soul to fight against the strong in the golden era of Jujutsu? A new shadow style master like Kusakabe would be more informed and would have more experience on direct attacks against the soul if that was the case. What if Kusakabe was teaching Yuji new shadow style by swapping bodies and training to understand how to attack against the soul more? Well, here's another explanation about this new slashing technique. Gojo claims that Yuji will obtain Sukuna's curse technique early on in the story. So if attacking the soul isn't Yuji's curse technique, Yuji's true curse technique would be a cursed technique like Sukuna, which slashes the subject. Sukuna claims that he was an unwanted child in chapter 237 while having conversation with Kashimo. We can also tie this onto Yuji. In old times, the Japanese word amigo, which directly translated means unwanted child, but it also has another meaning. It means unlucky twins. There is only one person we can think of that is the other twin brother to Sukuna, and that is Yuji Itadori. Kenjaku told Yuji that he had high hopes for him at the end of the Shibuya incident and told Choso, if that thing keeps living with Sukuna, the chain of curses will never end. He's the storm of the eye of the new era. The true meaning of these words is still not explained yet, but before that Kenjaku said his role was to become the vessel, and that role is already complete. Sukuna also says in chapter 214, so he's the one from back then. Kenjaku does some creepy stuff. This is a weird thing to say right after Yuji had his huge power boost while fighting Sukuna. And the creepy stuff that Kenjaku was doing might have been conducting human experiments using Sukuna's twin brother. Let's put this all in a timeline. First, 1,000 years ago Kenjaku experiments on Sukuna's twin brother. Second, 150 years ago Kenjaku created the death paintings. Third, 15 years ago Yuji was born. So here the death paintings were most likely just incomplete test subjects that helped with the final creation of Yuji. Making Yuji, who was created using Sukuna's twin brother, Sukuna's vessel makes complete sense and is possible. Mai Zenin also states that twins in the Jujutsu world are basically one person, which further proves that Yuji and Sukuna may have the same curse technique if Yuji was created using Sukuna's brother. If Yuji combines his soul perception ability and his slashes, he could have an ability that Sukuna doesn't even have. Cursed technique release is a technique used by Daigen, Kashimo, and Ugi. This cursed technique release signifies the on and off switch of the cursed technique. And Kashimo's cursed technique was using his electric property of his cursed energy and allowing his body to do numerous things that exceeds the limits of a human being. Itadori could possibly do the same thing. When he turns on his cursed technique, he could apply his natural ability of perceiving the soul and his innate slashing cursed technique to create a new technique. This may explain why Yuji's arm changes its physical appearance like Kashimo does. Makes sense, doesn't it? Well, by far we can only predict this, cause yesterday we also got a new JJK manga illustration showing Yuji and Sukuna, possibly foreshadowing Yuji's role in defeating Ryomen Sukuna. If you enjoyed this theory, make sure to smash a like, and don't forget to subscribe for more awesome content like this. And I'll see y'all later.